pal has broken her silence.
Oh, so you thought Meghan Markle's glittering little circle of hand-picked Hollywood besties was unbreakable? Think again, darling, because when Jessica Mulroney, the woman once called Meghan's ride or die, starts loosening her lips, you can practically feel the Montecito walls shake and the secrets spilling out. Let's just say Meghan's PR machine is scrambling harder than it ever has before. The shine is cracking and the tea is piping hot.
Is here, Jessica Mulroney.
Jessica wasn't just some random friend. No, she was Meghan's shadow. Her glam squad wrapped up in human form. The unofficial stylist, the gatekeeper into Canada's glittering social scene. Remember, Meghan wasn't exactly a global superstar before Prince Harry. She was a Suits actress, recognizable in Toronto but not the household name she later claimed to be. Jessica, with that Mulroney name, her fashion ties, and her place among the Canadian elite, gave Meghan the perfect stepping stone. The two were inseparable, matching outfits, endless Instagram selfies, luxury weekends away, and when Meghan met Harry, Jessica was right there, holding the ladder steady while Meghan climbed higher. Let's not forget, Jessica's children were in the royal wedding itself, page boys and flower girls front and center at Windsor Castle. Meghan painted the royal fairy tale, but Jessica was the fairy godmother making sure it looked perfect. But here's the thing about Meghan. Friendships don't last when they stop serving her. Once you're no longer useful, or God forbid, you attract attention that isn't centered around Meghan, you're out, gone, ghosted. Just another casualty in Meghan's pattern of one-sided loyalty. And Jessica, she became one of the biggest casualties of them all. The breaking point? Summer 2020. Meghan and Harry were busy rebranding themselves as global activists while Jessica got caught in a social media scandal back in Canada. Instead of standing by her so-called best friend, Meghan tossed her under the bus. Within weeks, Jessica lost gigs, her reputation was in tatters, and Meghan erased her from the narrative as if she'd never existed. Poof! Years of loyalty vanished.
Meghan Markle is taking a step back from her friendship with Jessica Mulroney.
One of my closest.
But here's where Meghan miscalculated. Jessica Mulroney is no wallflower. She's not some forgotten stylist desperate for scraps of royal connection. Jessica has her own name, her own network, and a memory as sharp as steel. She stayed quiet for a while, licking her wounds, retreating from the spotlight. But now, the dam is cracking. Insiders whisper that Jessica has had enough. She's sick of Meghan's self-serving fairy tale, and she's ready to set the record straight. Not with a tell-all just yet, but enough whispers to make Montecito sweat bullets. And what she's saying, it's devastating. Meghan's public image, the victim, the feminist icon, the misunderstood duchess, doesn't line up with the Meghan Jessica knew behind closed doors. One of the juiciest tidbits? Meghan's obsession with control. Jessica styled her for red carpets and told friends that Meghan calculated everything, from how to hold her handbag to the exact angle she wanted cameras to catch her smile. Authentic? Please. Jessica says Meghan rehearsed her relatable moments like a stage actress memorizing lines. And Meghan's treatment of people? Ruthless. Assistants, staff, acquaintances. Once they served their purpose, she cut them off. Even Jessica herself landed on that chopping block. But here's the kicker. Jessica has hinted that Meghan's relationship with Harry wasn't quite the fairy tale Meghan sold to Oprah. According to Jessica, Harry wasn't Meghan's dream man. He was the role of a lifetime. Jessica heard the doubts, the frustrations, the game plans, all before the world saw the polished interviews. And honey, Jessica still has the receipts. We're talking texts, emails, photos, years of conversations that could completely unravel Meghan's carefully staged image. Meghan, who thrives on controlling the story, must be absolutely livid knowing her ex-bestie holds the ammo to shatter everything. So why now? Why spill after years of silence? Insiders say it's revenge, mixed with reputation repair. Meghan abandoned her at her lowest, and now Jessica sees her chance to rise again. And with Meghan and Harry's star dimming fast, the timing couldn't be worse for Meghan. One source claims Meghan went absolutely ballistic when she heard Jessica was talking again. Doors slammed, tantrums in Montecito, raging that Jessica was jealous. But who's really jealous here? Jessica, scandals and all, still has her high society ties. Meghan's the one mocked on late-night TV.
People get bullied. Well, I saw a person get bullied, and I saw Meghan seemingly just ghost her, so I made this video defending her.
And here's what Meghan never got. When you treat friends like disposable props, eventually, they stop playing along. Jessica knows the secrets, she has the connections, and she's the one person who could strip Meghan's mask clean off. This isn't some ex-stylist or distant acquaintance. This is the woman who stood by Meghan at every major moment, from the Suits days to Canada's elite circles to the royal wedding. If even Jessica is painting Meghan as manipulative and opportunistic, what does that say about the Duchess's true character? Make no mistake, Meghan must be terrified, because Jessica Mulroney knows exactly where the bodies are buried, and it looks like she's finally ready to start digging.
I realized Jessica actually shared the receipt.
Now let's dive into the secrets Jessica could unleash. The very whispers that have Meghan pacing those Montecito halls like a woman on edge. Because this isn't just about diva behavior or cutting remarks. No, darling. Jessica allegedly holds dirt that slices right into Meghan's entire brand, the woke Duchess, the self-made survivor, the independent success story. First target, Meghan's so-called independence before Harry. Remember how she loved to tell the world she built herself up, hustled in Hollywood, making it all on her own? Well, according to Jessica, the reality was far less glamorous. Meghan leaned heavily on Jessica's network just to stay afloat. From party introductions to fashion show invites, Jessica was the scaffolding holding Meghan up. Without her, Meghan might still be slogging through Hallmark scripts. If Jessica produces those receipts, old texts of Meghan begging for introductions, pleading for wardrobe loans, it completely shatters the self-made Duchess myth. And oh, the wedding drama. Meghan painted her big day as a fairy tale ruined by palace cruelty, with poor Meghan crying over flower girl dresses. But Jessica, she was in the thick of those bridal wars. And according to whispers, it was no romantic love story. Jessica supposedly overheard Meghan strategizing her royal girlfriend role, what charities to latch onto, how to charm Harry's friends, how to rebrand as the future Duchess of Compassion. House of Cards, not a Hallmark romance. Then there's the Montecito mask. Jessica allegedly visited Meghan after the move to California and spilled to friends that the Duchess's obsession with wealth and status was through the roof. Lavish spending, relentless networking, constant frustration that Hollywood's true elites didn't roll out red carpets. Meghan wanted to be the next Oprah, but Jessica said it was obvious audiences could smell the inauthenticity a mile away. And now the juiciest of whispers, Meghan's marriage. Jessica supposedly hinted their union is far more fragile than the glossy front. She overheard Meghan belittling Harry, mocking him as naive and too emotional. Imagine the fallout if that comes out. Meghan's image as the supportive wife obliterated. Critics would finally have their proof. Harry wasn't the love of her life. He was her golden ticket. Meanwhile, Meghan's PR team is burning the midnight oil to keep Jessica quiet. Sources say Meghan begged mutual friends to freeze Jessica out, threatening that anyone who entertains her gossip is cut off permanently. Classic Meghan move, wielding loyalty like a weapon. But here's the snag. Jessica doesn't need Meghan anymore. With Meghan and Harry's star power fading, Jessica's whispers carry more weight than ever. Hollywood is already circling. Producers, talk shows, book agents, all sensing that Jessica's story could be Meghan's final undoing. Remember Meghan's Oprah sit-down? The one she wanted as her defining royal bombshell? Imagine Jessica dropping her own interview, one so explosive it makes Oprah look tame. That's Meghan's nightmare, and Jessica holds the power to make it real. Insiders say Meghan is raging, screaming to Harry that Jessica's just jealous and bitter. But if Meghan truly had nothing to hide, why panic? Why beg PR firms? Why muzzle mutual friends? Why scramble? Because Meghan knows her glossy Duchess mask cannot survive even a single authentic contradiction. And who better to contradict her than Jessica? The woman who once knew every private thought. Now here's the twist. Jessica, long painted as the shallow hanger-on, is suddenly cast as the betrayed friend. The woman who lost everything to protect Meghan's image, only to be discarded when no longer useful. And now she's stepping into a redemption arc. Public sympathy is tilting her way, the same sympathy Meghan always craved. And don't think the palace isn't watching with popcorn in hand. Royal insiders who've doubted Meghan's victim narrative for years must be secretly delighted. Jessica isn't bound by royal NDAs, she can speak freely. If she confirms even half of these whispers, Meghan's Hollywood reinvention is toast. Because here's the brutal truth. Meghan built her empire on carefully curated myths. The struggling actress who made it, the fairy tale romance, the authentic humanitarian who only wanted to serve. Jessica can smash those myths brick by brick, and Meghan knows it. She's already hanging by a thread with failed Netflix deals and endless public ridicule. Another credibility hit could finish her off. Now Jessica, once family, stands on the brink of exposing her. And Meghan, she's pacing those Montecito rooms, panicked beyond belief because for once in her life, she doesn't control the story. And darling, that's the one thing Meghan Markle cannot forgive. The irony? The palace doesn't even need to get involved. For years, Meghan painted the royals as villains, But now it's her closest friend threatening to pull back the curtain. Prince William must be smirking in private. Charles doesn't need to lift a finger. Jessica's whispers are more powerful than any palace press release. The optics are damning. You can fight tabloids, you can fight the firm, but when your own best friend speaks out, that's when the public starts asking, maybe Meghan was the problem all along. Word is, Meghan's been in full meltdown mode, storming through her mansion, snapping at staff, begging Hollywood contacts for loyalty. But here's the thing, Hollywood doesn't protect liabilities. With every project flopping, Meghan's star is fading. Meanwhile, Jessica's whispers would sell in a heartbeat. And suddenly, Meghan Markle doesn't look like a victim anymore. She looks like a cornered social climber, terrified that the very ladder she used is being yanked away. Jessica wasn't some background extra in Meghan's story. She was there at all the key moments. The royal wedding? Jessica was front and center. Meghan's Canadian hideaways before her royal debut? Jessica was her cover. The early days with Harry when Meghan was rehearsing her image? Jessica was her sounding board. And now the same woman holds the power to rip back the curtain. From Meghan's humble girl act to her obsession with wealth and status, Jessica has the keys to the kingdom Meghan built on spin. And let's not pretend Meghan's past is squeaky clean. Remember all those whispers from Suits about diva behavior? Or the talk that Meghan used men as stepping stones before Harry? Jessica allegedly saw it all. She knows the tactics, the texts, the receipts. Meghan can deny, but Jessica knows where the truth is buried. Even juicier, rumors say networks and podcast producers are already approaching Jessica, dangling platforms for her story. A Jessica tell-all. It would dominate headlines bigger than any celebrity memoir this decade. For Meghan, who built her Hollywood identity around controlling the story, that would be the ultimate betrayal. Insiders say Meghan's panic is boiling over. She's snapping at Harry, blaming him for not protecting her. She even claims that if Harry had navigated royal life better, she wouldn't have been forced to shed her old friends. Imagine that. Blaming Harry for the collapse of friendships Meghan herself iced out. And of course, Meghan's favorite shield, Harry. Poor Harry, dragged out again whenever Meghan needs a human buffer. Expect statements about protecting his wife from toxic attacks. But the irony cuts deep. Harry cut ties with his own family for Meghan, and now Meghan's friends are exposing the cracks he thought would stay hidden. The palace doesn't need to fight back. Jessica's whispers are doing the work for them. For King Charles and William, this must feel like vindication. And the British press? They're feasting. Headlines everywhere. Columnists sharpening their knives saying, "We told you so," because Meghan miscalculated. She thought Jessica would slink away, humiliated. Instead, Jessica waited, patiently. And now, she's striking when Meghan's empire is already fragile. And that's what really keeps Meghan awake at night, pacing those Montecito halls, terrified of what headline might drop tomorrow. Because if the whispers so far are this damaging, what's still to come?